Hello and welcome to our very special Scottish Apprenticeship Week podcast, where we are putting graduate apprenticeships very much in the spotlight. For those who do not know about graduate apprenticeships, or GAs as they're more commonly called, they are delivered in partnership with Skills Development Scotland and the Scottish Funding Council to allow employees across Scotland to study towards a relevant degree while remaining in the workplace. RGU works very closely with employers across multiple sectors to make sure that the content of the courses is designed around business needs and supports the skills organisation's need for the future success. Course fees are fully funded, affording employers and students the opportunity to invest time towards study in the workplace rather than just paying course fees themselves. My name is Callum Laurie. I'm a business development manager here at Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen. And I'm delighted today to be joined by George Strachan, who is an assistant accountant with TaxAssist Accountants in the North East and also a graduate apprentice student on our accounting course. So George, thank you very much for coming on to tell us a wee bit more about your job and your study. So how are things with you?
Yeah, they're going well, thanks. Yeah, keeping very busy. Just finished a very busy tax season, a couple of days ago. The limited company accounts and tax keep on coming, so can't complain. And then at night when I get home, I have the pleasure of doing my university studies. So yeah, I'm always very busy.
Good to hear. So no, it's rather be too busy than too quiet sometimes. Anyway, that's for sure.
Exactly. Yes.
No,
indeed.
So no, I was just keen to kind of hear a wee bit more about your story, both within the graduate apprenticeship program and also within the workplace. And you joined back in 2019, it was. So you're in your third year now of the accounting course.
Yeah.
But just to kind of give a wee bit more context and background to it, before you came on board the graduate apprenticeship program, can you just kind of talk about what kind of place you were in at that point, what your kind of working situation was, etc.?
Yeah. So when I was in S6, I was at a careers fair, and I'd always wanted to do accountancy, probably from about S4 onwards. I wasn't particularly good at it at that point, but my skills were growing in the field at that point. And my business studies manager teacher at the time said that you should go and speak to Stephen Mearns, who's my boss here at TaxAssist. And we got some work experience in place because my timetable at school at that point was not full, so I needed to fill it up with something or risk getting asked to leave. So we did that. And I really enjoyed my time. It was different, a lot different from what I'd learned, and the time with Stephen went well. And then we were offered, I was offered, a job at TaxAssist. Once I left sixth year, which was perfect. I was going straight into employment, which is always what I wanted to do. But I also wanted to do the uni as well, the uni route as well, get that degree, but also have the practical experience. So I'm quite a hands-on person. I like to be pragmatic and actually learn by doing. I can't remember the exact timings, but I know that Stephen mentioned that RGU had approached him about this graduate apprenticeship course and being one of the employers that actually, puts a student forth and, goes on this course. So we had numerous meetings with yourself in the beginning days of the course, and then I believe I started from the middle September 2019. It was really new back then. It was quite scary, quite daunting. I wasn't very familiar with things. I asked a lot of questions. I think the business team were probably sick of me at that point because I'd asked a lot of questions. However, I persevered, got pretty solid results in year one, carried that over into year two. At the moment, I'm still carrying that into year three, which is great. So that's a bit of the background, how I met with Stephen and TaxAssist, and then how I joined RGU as well.
Fantastic. We're very happy to have you with us as well, because as you say, you're getting on really, really well from all accounts. So you mentioned there obviously kind of preferring that working and studying option at the same time, which obviously the graduate apprenticeship is a great option to have. And in comparison to the traditional route of school, university, looking for a placement or a training year and then going on to do your qualifications after that. So what do you see as being the main benefits of being able to do both at the same time? What do you
Yeah,
think are the kind of main things that attract you to that option?
there are a lot of benefits, in my opinion. One major one is being the 5 years experience you're getting whilst doing a degree, which your your fellow peers, your peers doing the traditional route don't get. They go into a firm and they may be doing really basic tasks like scanning or shadowing or some sort of task like that, whereas I'm 3 years in, I'm fully responsible for managing my own personal tax returns and my own limited companies, all that sort of things, and actually liaising with the clients, making sure the clients have everything they need, making sure they're happy with us, and making sure the fees are appropriate. So you get to a level of responsibility much quicker, and you grow your knowledge exponentially because you get a lot of crossover. You see what you do at work going into university. Like the last module I just did was, I think it was called advanced or personal tax and business taxation. I know it was to do with that. And a lot of the personal tax work that we did, I'd done a lot of it already at work. So it was already very familiar to me. The same with the corporation tax. So it's that familiarity you get between university. University, I think, I don't know if I'm speaking out of hand, is actually made, I think, slightly easier by doing working at the same time, because you've got, chartered accountants around you who understand the sector and are very familiar with the work you're doing, so they can assist you. And then you've got chartered accountant, module coordinators and teachers that are very, very good at what they do, and they're very, very supportive. So that's probably the major advantage, is all the experience you're getting and how it interlinks between university and the workplace. And for me, looking at me in 5 years' time, when potentially I have this chartered accountancy degree, title, along with the honours degree. If you put me up against a traditional uni student, I have 5 years, a CA, and an honours degree. They have an honours degree. And who knows, I can maybe fast track into a managerial position, etc., etc. Who knows what the future holds? So that's a big advantage to me. Another advantage is obviously you're in employment, so you're earning money, and a lot of people at that point may not need to leave home to go and go to university, so they may not need to stay on campus at RGU, which saves obviously a lot of expenditure. So you can earn and save a lot more money for your future. And you're obviously, this is something I'm seeing more and more as I'm thinking about financial planning for my future. You've got a lot of very experienced people around you who can help you make decisions that are obviously going to benefit you in the future. It's very flexible. You can do it when you need to do it, which is perfect. You also have that flexibility of your tutors and your mentors being able to assist you because they are chartered accountants or qualified accountants. So it's great. There are many, many more advantages, and there are just a few, and I could speak about the advantages all the time. I think, all great opportunities do have drawbacks, and I'd say the biggest drawback of this course is you have to be certain that you want to be an accountant. You can't kind of go into it half knowing what you want to do. You can't be thinking, oh, well, I'd quite like to do accountancy, but again, I could be an architect at the same time, because you won't cope on this course because it's high volume. It is very, very fast paced. So you have to be willing to put in the commitment. And if you put in the commitment, you will get the results you desire, and you'll go far. So it's a tiny drawback, but you just have to be committed.
I suppose, as you say, George, it's an opportunity to be fast tracked, in your career effectively. The traditional route, generally from leaving school to becoming fully qualified is usually kind of about 7 or 8 years. And plus, you're looking for a placement and a job and everything like that as well. Whereas for yourself, as you say, within 5 years of leaving school, you're looking at having that CA title, having the work experience, having had that for 5 years, and you already have the job anyway, so you're not having to come out of university and then look and see what do I do now, and you're up against 200 other graduates who are looking for that same position. So no, that's absolutely great. And also just to kind of, as you're saying about the drawbacks, there are pros and cons with anything, and as much as this is a fantastic and unique way of achieving that qualification, it doesn't come easy, and there is hard work involved there as well, putting in the hours, which obviously you're doing yourself anyway, George. So mentioning drawback, I mean, let's maybe look at it from another point of view and look at any kind of key things that stand out to you throughout your GA journey so far. So has there been kind of any memorable moments that looking back, you think, actually, yeah, that's when it all started clicking for me, or anything like that?
Yeah, I think, obviously at the moment, COVID has played a massive role in not actually being at the campus. Everything's online, all the module work and lectures are online, which is not particularly the best thing for me. I would rather be on campus, seeing the teachers, seeing my fellow classmates, etc. But yeah, I mean, a few memorable moments are just, the first exam for me. I remember driving into RGU, and it was dark by the time it was done, and it was just the stress and the panic of, this is my first exam, how have I done? And then actually getting the result and knowing that the work I had done, I had obviously put in, was good, and I got the result. And all my lecturers that I've had, and all the module coordinators have been very pleasant. I've just dealt with Michelle for that last module, and she's excellent. I'm just away to deal with Lindsay for this next module. Obviously she runs the whole course for the GA accounting. And again, I suspect that it will be, again, a very high standard. So, the teaching's excellent, and I'm very happy with that. So, hard to say, how many good moments there's been, because I think they've been limited by COVID. But I think overall, the 3 years has been a good experience thus far.
Definitely, and I think the difference, I suppose, probably in you, and you'll see that yourself most likely from when you left school to where you are now. To have achieved so much in such a short space of time is phenomenal. And it's definitely something that you can look back on. We looked to last year. I want to bring up the Northern Star Business Awards, because both yourself and the organisation had a successful evening at the 2021 awards, where you won the Rising Star Award, which is a very prestigious award in the Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire area, well, entire Northeast area, I suppose, and has some fantastic names as previous winners. So how did that all come around? And again, we're saying you've achieved so much so quickly. This was even earlier into the journey. I don't think you were even a year and a half, 2 years into the course. So yeah, how did this all come around?
Yeah, so I think I don't know if I'm the youngest person to ever achieve the award, or it was something like that. It was, there was one statistic that hadn't been achieved before that I achieved with this award. So I know, my boss is obviously very proud of what I've achieved and is very committed to see me achieve what I want to achieve. Obviously, the main goal being the honours degree and the chartered accountanship as well. So I think he had submitted an application, to give all my achievements, and just, I suppose he didn't share with me what he wrote, because I suppose he said I probably wouldn't get my head through the door if that was the case. But he obviously said some very flattering things, and then it was put to an external board of examiners, and obviously they've looked at however many people have applied to the Rising Star Award for their achievement, and I was picked, which was quite surreal, because I'm very glad that I've won it, because not only is it good for the company's image, good for my image, is it good for my CV as well. It's one thing that looks really good, and I could remember I actually remember the lady from the Chamber of Commerce getting in contact with myself and Stephen saying, we'd like to come in on Wednesday and, just speak to you about and give you a result, basically. And, we thought, we haven't really done well here because, they're scheduling it, etc., etc. And they came in, they were speaking to us, and we couldn't really grasp what was going on. But we thought we had an inkling that I hadn't really done that well. I shouldn't say I hadn't really done that well, because obviously it was a great to even be put forward for the awards, but with an inkling that we maybe weren't the winners, because she had a big brown envelope. We thought maybe this is just a runners up, or a participation sort of type of certificate. And then it said the winner, and the trophy came out, and it was very emotional and obviously very flattering to receive the award. And it'll just go to show how much hard work that I've put into now, or then, and how it paid off. And then also they left. They hadn't told us anything about the Staff Matters Awards for TaxAssist, and they came back with another award. And obviously that it was a double whammy. They both very shocked about it, but obviously both very pleased, because Stephen does an excellent job of looking after the staff here and making us all feel welcome. And he really, the firm really deserved the award for Staff Matters. And I should obviously give that success to Cameron as well, who's Stephen's fellow director, because again, he makes us feel valued and makes the company really good. And then the staff work hard to produce the results. And then I've worked hard alongside RGU, and obviously the TaxAssist to be as best as I can be at the time I am just now.
Definitely, and very well deserved. So no, it's great to see those kind of achievements, away from study and as well. So, I mean, you talk about Stephen. Obviously, Stephen Mearns is the one of the directors, as you say, the TaxAssist, and also acts as your mentor.
Indeed, yes.
So, how important do you find that kind of mentor support that you get there? I know, obviously, you're not working in a very, very large organization, but to have that dedicated to support from somebody who is as experienced as Stephen is, and Stephen himself has had a very varied career in accounting. How do you see that link up, and do you find that the mentor role really kind of helps bridge the gap between almost being at a slight distance to the university and then what you're trying to achieve in the workplace?
Yeah, so again, Stephen's an excellent mentor, and obviously the CA experience is fantastic, because you've got one of the most prestigious accountancy kind of qualifications behind you, and you just know you've got that experience and knowledge to drive you forward. So if there's ever anything I'm stuck with for university, which is few and far between, I'm managing to grasp most of it. But if I ever need anything, Stephen will sit down with me and think about how he would deal with it in the real world, and try and get to the answer based on what we kind of see in a real life example, which is great. And it just helps bridge the gap between I'm not having to go to my mentors or tutors or lecturers so much at RGU, which I know I can, but speak to Stephen and see what he thinks of it, and then attempt the question. If I'm not getting it quite right, then go back to Michelle or Lindsay, etc., and see if they can shine some more light on how to do it, which is excellent. And then obviously more mentoring in the workplace as well. Sits down with me, does limited company accounts training, reviews my personal tax returns, make sure that he's happy with what I'm doing and the work I'm producing and the answers I'm giving clients. And the good thing is with Stephen, he's very versatile and flexible. So if you need to phone him up and say, a client's asked me X, this is my response, do you think this is appropriate, or is there anything else I'm missing? He will give you honest feedback and tell you what you're missing and what you need to add, which is great for confidence. And it also means not only are you confident speaking to the client, Stephen's confident in myself speaking to our clients as well. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
And as you say, that kind of that learning culture, when it's embedded in a workplace, does mean that it gives you an opportunity to learn by doing, and not just sit and watch. And as you say, kind of doing what a lot of early careers people will do with shadowing or doing the kind of more junior tasks within our organization, but to be actually there at the front line, I suppose, and representing the organization. Is a fantastic opportunity, especially at a young age as well. So I just wanted to touch on a couple of wee bits that were said, just in case anybody who's tuned in today is not quite sure with some of the acronyms that we've been using. So George is currently studying towards his bachelor's was honours degree in accounting, but also towards a professional qualification with ICAT, which is the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Scotland. Our accounting graduate apprenticeship program also partners with ACCA, which is the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, to enable students to gain, yes, their honours degree, but also the professional accreditation in year 5 of that. And as George has talked about already, the importance of having those qualifications behind you in this sector is extremely important. So I suppose lastly, George, just to kind of finish up, again, you've kind of touched on this before, but what would you say to somebody who's considering either becoming a graduate apprentice or supporting graduate apprenticeships within the workplace?
Yeah, so I would say you've really got to make sure this is what you want to do, because it does take a lot of commitment. There can be a lot of stress involved with it. So make sure it's what you want to do. Don't think of accountancy as this fast track to make a lot of money, because to make a lot of money in accountancy, you need to be great at your job, and you can only be great at your job through doing, learning, and just asking lots of questions. It's exactly what I've done. You make mistakes along the way, you learn from them, you pick yourself up, and you just get on with it. If the commitment's not there, you won't succeed, because it's too much. It's too difficult to succeed when you've got a lot of university work to get through, and then also you're working 4-5 days a week at an accountancy firm that have demanding clients, have personal tax returns to be done, have accounts jobs to be done, have VAT returns to be done. So that is, commitment is the biggest thing that somebody needs to have if they want to do accountancy. And obviously, hopefully, it's not fundamental, but a little, it's not compulsory, but a little bit of knowledge of accountancy would be good, because I know I was familiar with the fundamentals of accounting, but looking at questions that you receive at university compared to what it is in real life, you get given all the information at university. You definitely don't when you're in the workplace. You need to hunt for it, you need to work it out, and you need to liaise with clients to make sure that they understand, they know what you're looking for. It's not set out for you. So you need to have, in my opinion, just some fundamental knowledge of what debits and credits are, how accounts are structured, and then, you should fare well when you put the effort in.
Right. And hopefully enjoy it as well. That's the thing, it's a different student experience, of course, but it's still something to be enjoyed, and hopefully, come the end of year 4 and then into year 5, you've still got that smile on your face, George. So no, thank you very much.
Indeed.
Thanks very much for sharing your story. I mean, it's great to see the enthusiasm that you have, not just for your studies or for your job, but for the discipline that you're learning. It's fantastic to hear about that and all the experiences you've had so far. So thanks again. I mean, for anyone who is interested in finding out more about graduate apprenticeships at Robert University, you can visit our website, which is www.rgu.ac.uk/GA, and get in touch with us for an informal discussion. The team here are always happy to hear from potential students, potential employers, individuals who are just interested in finding out a bit more, and we can help answer any question you may have. So thanks again, George, for joining me today, and I hope that everybody enjoys the rest of Scottish Apprenticeship Week. Keep your eyes peeled across all of our social media channels throughout the week for further GA student and mentor stories, and follow us in all the usual places to interact with the university. So thanks again, and we'll see you again soon.